And we've got an example here, and I'll let Sean kind of chime in. What we have here, just as a quick example, many of the things that we have been commonly used to using in some of the high-end B2B side or B2C sites, we now make available through mid-tier to high-end tools like Sitecore and Eloqua. The combination of those tools create an overall experience for the prospect, for the customers, that involve a highly targeted communication and messaging that aligns with the expectation of the customer. And so a lot of this from a B2B perspective is moving a person through that buying cycle, creating that nurturing environment that gets us to the point where we have that sales-ready lead for our sales organization to act on. Sean, do you have some additional points?
Rolf, a lot of, last week we were with a customer, and a lot of companies that we see who are kind of doing a website exercise, invariably Amazon.com is typically what they would look at as a benchmark, and they're always looking at that as an example of, how well they do personalization. And it might be a little easy for an e-commerce site to do it than for a B2B site. But the good news is that, with technology today, a lot of that is very doable. So I think that's the message. That is, with powerful tools, especially the ones that we work with, notably Sitecore and Eloqua, a lot of what we talked about is very doable. You can have recommendations the way Amazon does recommendations, and you can accelerate that conversion and the buying cycle quite effectively using these two tools. So I just wanted to add that in there. Rolf?
Great. So let's move on to the next section. And we want to wrap up this webinar with a little bit of background about us. Again, as Sean had mentioned earlier, we're really focused on the customer acquisition retention through engagement solutions that leverage a variety of channels. With that, we provide a variety of services that wrap around that. We're not going to spend much time on this because what I want to do as we move forward is provide people with ample time to be able to ask questions and for us to be able to answer any questions that the audience may have. And you'll have the ability to ask questions via the question window, I think that Kami had mentioned earlier. And we would be glad at this point to answer any questions that you do have. Thank you very much for your time and listening through this webinar, and feel free to ask questions at this point.
So Ross, there's a question about, there's a number of clients that are looking for, these types of integrations, especially with Sitecore and with Eloqua. They're kind of like the best of breed, and they're both highly progressive tools. Is there a process? Is there, what's the time to implement? Can you share some information about what eDynamic does?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say there's really two components to this, and Sean alluded to one of the components. To think about the integration of the two platforms, we really start early on with the workshops to understand what you're trying to accomplish from a business perspective. Understanding your customer, understanding your prospects, understanding the type of communication you want to perform, the type of engagement you want to have with your prospects and customers. That workshop and the analysis we do at that level really informs us as to the type of integration that is going to be required. And there's different levels of integration between the two platforms, between an Eloqua and a Sitecore, that can occur. There's a kind of loosely coupled integration that enables a certain level of capability. And then we can get into more deeply coupled integration where we discussed earlier. We're actually moving information between the two platforms, and they're acting on the common set, the common view of the customer. Typically, those integrations can take anywhere from 4 to 8 weeks on the low end, all the way up to 12 weeks on the high end, depending on what other systems you have internally that we would need to integrate with. So that might be a CRM system, maybe online community system like Intelligent, or other platforms that you might have.
Right. Cammy, do we have any other questions? And I'm seeing a whole slew of them. Are you sorting them out? I saw one about are there other content management systems that you work with, and any other marketing automation and tools that you worked with that kind of do this integration?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll talk to the content management, and Sean, I'll have you speak toward the marketing automation tools. In terms of content management systems, eDynamic, though we are a Sitecore partner, we've been a Sitecore partner since 2005. We do work across a variety of platforms, including Day on the Java side for organizations that have a Java focus. We also do work with Drupal, and those comprise the three focused areas in terms of CMS. We do a lot of work with SharePoint for organizations that are very SharePoint focused. And then we do work across a variety of platforms that customers may already have installed within their environment.
How complex is it to do that content map, the one that you showed in the earlier slide, or I showed rather? That's the question.
Sean, do you want to address that?
Sure. Okay. Asking myself a question. In terms of the content map, I think it's like Rolf alluded to, and I said that earlier in the deck, which was going through the process. I think once you go through the process, you kind of map it out on a spreadsheet, and then finally come up with that formula. In this whole exercise, the technological integration is actually the easy bit. It's identifying those pain points and mapping the content and coming up with those permutations and combinations. That's difficult, but it's not impossible. And the only tip I would say is to first start out simply, and then get more complex and refine as you go along. Ross, you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I would agree. I think that the challenge for most organizations in the end will not be the technology. Most of that can be worked out or has already been worked out, but rather getting the sales and marketing organizations within the same room to agree how they want to engage with the customer, to agree upon what the buying cycle looks like, and then to come to a final agreement as to what the messaging looks like. I think that, from our experience, has been a greater challenge than technology.
Camille, there's another question.
No.
There's a question from Arash. You're trying to get that question.
Okay.
Okay. I think that's it. We'll wind up. We were about 10 minutes short of the hour, 12:30. Here's how to contact us. There's Rolf's email and my email address. We've also got microsites both for demand gen as well as for content management. We are certified partners for Eloqua, Sitecore. We also work with other organizations, though the optimum kind of plug-in between Sitecore and Eloqua has been where we are focused right now. If you have any questions, do feel free to talk to us. If you would like more information about how to get these things done again, feel free to reach out to us. We'll be happy to discuss. I think that's it. I'd like to thank you all again for attending this session. And Rob, do you want to add anything to summarize?
No, thank you again for attending, and feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions, and we'd be glad to respond. Thanks again.
And I know there are some Eloqua folks and some Sitecore folks, so again, thank you guys for your support, and look forward to working with you on future projects. Thanks, take care.
Thank you everyone for attending our webinar.